Right now in Nova Scotia, new information about the highest paid Native chiefs and councillors. Crisis averted. Why the food supply is now not a problem for a major food bank. Plus, no tears in their beer. Microbreweries see opportunity in the Keiths move west. And fire on ice, 85 and at the top of his game.
Well, we're still being affected by that same area of low pressure that gave us the rain and the snow. It's going to be another windy one overnight tonight and tomorrow.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Tom Murphy.
And I'm Amy Smith. More tonight on a story that's touched a raw nerve with Nova Scotians. The salaries of chiefs and councillors on native reserves. Here's why.
The average Nova Scotian earns $31,795 a year. That's before tax. And on a native reserve like Eskasoni, the average income is half that, just $16,000.
But as we now know, the job of councillor on many reserves in Nova Scotia is way higher than that. Tonight, Paul Withers can tell us who is earning what and where. Paul.
Well, Amy, when the Canadian Taxpayers Federation released the summary of compensation paid to chiefs and councillors for 2008, their reserves were identified not by name, but by their federal funding. Well, we've matched those figures to the amounts the bands say they received in their audited financial statements, and here's what that cross-referencing shows.
The data indicates that the Acadia Band is home to Nova Scotia's highest-paid chief. In 2008, Chief Deborah Robinson received $400,000 in compensation. All 8 Acadia Band councillors made more than $120,000 tax-free. The tiny Bear River First Nation was the lowest-paid council. In 2008, the chief made $60,000, the 2 councillors around $26,000. Down the road, the even smaller Annapolis Valley Band, with a population of 233, paid its council considerably more. Chief Brian Toney received $162,000 in compensation, the band's 2 councillors $143,000 and $193,000 in compensation.
It is unfortunate that once again the public is too easily entertained by inaccurate, negative publicity.
Native leaders have reacted to the release of this information. The Glooscap First Nation identified as the band where one councillor took in nearly $1 million. The chief says all of this is misleading because it does not provide a breakdown of what the compensation covers, including long hours, travel, and other expenses.
My job is not a 9-to-5 job. Our responsibilities are endless.
The Assembly of First Nations says that $1 million payment was operational money destined for others.
That community chose to run all their contracts through an individual.
Native leaders also say taxpayers are not paying for all of this compensation. About 65% of the Millbrook Band's revenue comes from its own sources. In 2008, it took in twice as much from gambling as from Indian and Northern Affairs. For the record, Chief Lawrence Paul made $123,000 in compensation that year. 5 of his councillors made more than $100,000. The band confirming those figures this afternoon.
Now, of course, we asked for comment and clarification from all of the bands that were mentioned in that report that you've just seen. One councillor on the Bear River band told me that the figures that we were using are accurate. The 2 other bands did not respond to our request for comment. And in a statement today, Nova Scotia's Office of Aboriginal Affairs has weighed into this, saying that it believes the majority of elected officials at bands are reasonably paid and are committed to improving lives in their communities. Amy?
Thanks, Paul. That's Paul Withers with our lead tonight.